to them. UK, Ivory Coast.
What's going on, guys? Coach Suns here, and today's video is gonna be golden nuggets. Nuggets on running. Now, everybody wants to get a faster 5 km time. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna come through and give you sample weeks, sample sessions that you can go and apply to your training that will enable you to get a better 5 km time. Now, for me with coaching, especially in the running and distance scene, I found a very structured week, structured blocks lead to the best performances. But not just structure leads to best performances, it's what we do within that structure, how we stimulate the body, how we stimulate the engine, and how are we trying to adjust that engine for a better performance. So first of all, you need to ask yourself, are you just going out and running? If so, good bloody job. It's better than not doing anything, all right? But if you are just running the same routes, the same runs, the same gradients, not really changing much, or very inconsistent with what you're doing, this video is going to be gold, all right? So I've taken a bunch of runners, a bunch of everyday people, trained them for 8 weeks and reduced their 5 and 10 km times drastically through pure structure and stimulation consistently for 8 weeks, 5 times a week. Not many long runs involved in it, but short, sharp, and hard. So, what does structure look like? These things like, what do you mean? What do you mean by structure? So for me, structure comes down to various styles of running. You know, do you have steady state running in there? Do you have a negative split running in there? Do you have tempo work? Do you have speed work? Do you have hill work? And do you have slow, easy runs? Now, it all sounds like much, and it is much if you don't have the knowledge on how to structure this stuff. It can be a bit daunting. So, what does a structured week look like? Now, this table, you can go and apply it based on how you want to, adjust it how you want to on your level of running. Now, if we look at the table that I put up here, it'll come around here. There you go. I've got 4 days on, 1 day off, and then we go again with the 7th day or Sunday, a rest day again before we start our new week. Now, you can structure it based on your life and what works best for you, but this is how I like doing it. Now, we start with a steady state. Now, steady state for me is just, if I use my runners, for example, I'll get them to run something that's slower than their race pace, you know, so around 4 minute to 4:10 will be a good steady state pace for them. So if they're a 3:40 or 3:30 minute per kilometer runner, I'm taking that off. Something that's really comfortable. They can hold it for an extended period of time. Just challenging, they're breathing a bit, so conversation may not be as much as a slow run. It might be a couple of words every 10 or so strides. So for me, that's important. That's how I start the week. I like to start the week. Like that sets the sort of tone. So the next run I got is a negative split. Now, negative split just means a second half that's faster. So if you're doing a 10K run, your first 5 kilometers will be 25 minutes. Your second 5 kilometers will be 23 minutes. So it's a second half that's faster. It's a negative split. So I like using this. I like my boys racing this, especially when they're racing half marathons. They can really set themselves up to then drop the hammer and go in the second half. We train in this manner as well. So I think it's a good way to play with tempo as well. And I'll talk about tempo and how we use it. But my second day is generally a negative split. I'll go again. Around the first half will be the steady state pace that I just did on Monday. The second half of the run will go just under steady state or faster than steady state. So if we were stopping at 4 minutes for steady state per kilometer, we're now going to go second half of your run. I need you to hit 3:55 or 3:50. So that's how I'll do my negative split. Wednesday, we got a nice, slow, easy run. Now, slow runs are generally things that will feel like you're walking, depending on your level, but you should be able to breathe comfortably. You should be able to have a conversation with someone next to you while you're running the entire time, or at least for 80% of the time you should be able to talk. So that's a slow and steady run. Now you can see I've built up from pace on Monday was here. Tuesday with a negative split, it went faster. I dropped it down on a Wednesday. So I like undulating, all right? I like stimulating the body in that manner. Thursday, we go to speed work. Now, the boys will either do track or grass, depending where we are in the season, but it's great if you can mix up the terrains because it helps with building your legs. But if we use track for an example, boys will do 10 1000s, 8 1000s, depending what I give for them. Now, how we set the pace for 1000 meters, I take their 10K or their half marathon race pace, and I go, well, let's try and hit the race pace for every kilometer, whether it's 310, 315, 320, for majority of the reps, and then towards the end of the session or the middle of the session, I go, right, drop the hammer, we need to go faster than race pace. Now, I like these speed work sessions, and as the name suggests, speed work, it brings speed to your run, but enables you or your body to withstand the demands of running at that pace. Your legs get used to the turnover, your breathing rate changes, so you need to pay attention in these moments. Try and control your breathing. I know it's tough. It's not easy controlling your breathing. Set a rhythm, but again, you don't have to go 1000 meters. You can start, 400 meters, whatever you're capable of and your level of running. Now, after Thursday, our speed work session, we generally would have Friday off or a chilled out run. Saturday is our long run. Now, for my runners, they're quite experienced. They'll generally do, depending on where their season is it 40 or 50K, or is it 100 minutes or 90 minutes of hilly and terrain, or mixed terrain, or just flat road? It really depends. How you can structure it, again, based on your level, is go your longest run on the weekend. All right, get up in the morning. Now, you can set it out in the manner that I got in this 2x20 with a 5-minute in between. So this 2x20 is, I want you to run it close to steady state. So not as slow as your midweek run, not as fast as steady state, but in between the two. You're going to pick a pace and you're going to hold it for the entire 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is you pick. After that is finished, you take a 5-minute that's really slow. Cruise along with it, and then boom, drop the hammer again for another set, or however many sets you've chosen to do. Now, this comes down to your programming, your coach's programming, and again, everything's based on your level. Now, I'm going to put another example of a week 2, and like my week how I undulate, I like to undulate a little bit of the training with different stimulations. Now, if you look at this table here, I've changed and I've added in on a Thursday hill work. Now, hill work is speed work in disguise for me because I use hills that are not very steep, steep enough, but it shouldn't change your running form drastically. So I'm looking for a hill that will ask a lot of you, but not change your form too much. So you pick a hill, drive around, find one that's 400 or 500 meters long, or at least 2 minutes that you can get to the top of it. Bang it out as hard as you can for the entire distance. I don't want you to shoot out and then 100 meters in you can't go. So understand your level, understand where you are, and then shoot out as hard as you can for the entire distance. Walk or light jog back. Boom, once you hit the bottom, go again. Again, how you prescribe it will depend on you and your level. Be smart with what you're doing. Don't try and bite like more than you can chew. It's often very easy to do that because you're feeling good and things are going good. Just be patient. Now, everything I spoke about is about structuring your week. Now, if you follow the structure of these weeks that I'm demonstrating over here and carry it out for the next 8 weeks with small improvements or increases in distances, times, and intensities. So if you play with those, your volume, intensity, I can't see why you wouldn't get a better 5 kilometer time. So I hope all this information I've given to you, I know it was quick, helps, but if not, leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. And please don't forget, like, subscribe, and I'll be coming back to you with more information. Peace!